say is equality. You ask us to take in your babies and grandbabies and monitor their hearts, their minds, and their souls. You ask us to prepare them for the future. You ask us for our opinions on what is best for your children. You say you appreciate the level of work we do. I then ask, can you please make us the #1 priority in the new year? And let's get this contract settled once and for all.
Has your union seen that? Has your union seen the salary guides? Or no?
The negotiation team is the one that handles the salary guides. As you know, we keep everything in confidence until we have the full package. Once the full package is completed, including the salary guides, we then take it back to the association for formal ratification.
Did you explain why we rejected your salary guide?
You don't have an answer as to why.
You
We were
do.
just not according to the information that was presented to us.
It was very clear, made very clear to your rep.
Okay,
Why?
can you share with me because our rep
Yes.
didn't get that message?
It would be very easy for the board to just sign off on the salary guides we were given. It would be the easiest thing for us. We sat here for a year and a half and pretty much been bombarded by everyone in the audience, public, the union, for a year and a half on negotiation. The easiest thing for us to do would be to sign these salary guides. However, we also sat here for a year and a half and said the middle of the guide is where we need to focus this round. Several years ago, it was the bottom of the guide. People constantly complained about the bottom of the guide, and this board is the one that raised the bottom of the guide. Currently, the low end of our guide and the top end of our guide are pretty much above county average. It's kind of in the middle, and members of the public stood up and said the middle has to be raised. We said it. Everyone was under a perfectly clear understanding of what we would be focusing on this time. When we got your salary guides, had your guide been a normal guide, let's say that, we call it the hockey puck, like let's say the lowest end would go like this and evenly it would go up to the top, the way you place the money would be fantastic. You gave $1,565 to every step and everything would kind of move, smoothly. But the problem is with your guide, it's kind of a hockey stick. So we call it like, it takes, you start here and years, low, 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 and then the last years it ramps up, which is what we are trying to smooth that out. So it would be easy for us to sign it, but the way the money was dispersed among the guide, it didn't help those levels, and that's what we're focusing on.
And with all due respect, you've been very open and honest about that, and we as an association can understand and recognize that. I, being in the middle of the guide, would be very appreciative of that. However, collectively sitting behind me is years of experience that all want to see some money from the pot. So the guide that we presented to you was the guide that was prepared by NJA. It was the most fair and equitable to the entire staff. It really did have the hearts and minds of everybody who is collectively sitting here and those that work within the building day to day. And yes, it is very easy.
If we don't start fixing the middle, it won't get fixed. And when we hit negotiations next time, we're going to hear the same thing. The middle guide, some people are going to be in pain.
Absolutely.
It can't be. It's not going to be, you have to tell that man, Peter, if you want to bring him in one day from the NJA, he was excellent. He came a few years ago, he's excellent. We tell him what we want, you tell him what you want, and we kind of work it. I mean, some of those middle levels did not, over the 3 years, the raise was not even what we agreed to, our average, was not even there. Whereas the highest, I think, was 22%. It's not going to help, you're not going to help the middle that way. And we need to help the middle.
I just want to, again, say that as we go through this process, we need to exercise caution so that when we do sit down to negotiate in just a few more months for the next contract, that we're not, hurting ourselves in further negotiation process. So while I honored your words today, and I'm sure there are people in the audience that will honor that, again, I ask that we look at those salary guides. I ask from the board's perspective at this point that you do some work, give us some feedback aside from just go fix the middle of the guide so that we can really...
Well, your rep had asked us, how much money do we want to move down? That's not something we can answer. We can't say, move 10,000, move 20,000. It's something that has to be worked out. Unfortunately, the board member that would have done that for us is no longer on the board.
Right.
So it's really something, we can't say, oh, move 20,000. It doesn't work that way, you know what I mean? It's a difficult process.
I'm not saying it's an easy one.
Right.
I'm just asking that we put our, our nose to the grind. We're hearing great money being spent once again. We would like to hear what we're finally doing. And so I just ask that we finally get a compromise here.
Compromise?
Compromise, it's the table that comes.
We have worked on it. We said, put more money to the middle. Put more money to the middle. It's your union. You need to put more money to the middle if you want us to sign off on it. And everyone has said it. The public has said it. Your union members have said it. So it has to, we need to see money hitting the middle.
Okay, I'm going to let James speak on behalf of us.
Okay.
So I've heard you as far as addressing the middle of the guide. So from our guide, what would you like us to change? Where would you like the money to come from, essentially?
All I can tell you is if you put 1565 on each step through the entire guide, it doesn't help the middle.
I agree.
So that is for you, I guess, to figure out.
But once you pay the increment costs, there's not a ton of money to move around. And we do need to also help some of those top members who have consistently the past couple of years been taking hit after hit on healthcare. It's something that you've heard us say many, many times. And so that's one thing that we attempted to do. And what the rhetoric has always been from your lawyers and attorneys is, well, you can take the whole lump sum, the money's in there for relief, you divide it how you want. So what you're saying then is there is no relief for those top people.
It didn't go to the top level. That rhetoric was about the people at the top of the guide. It didn't go there. It went to the steps below. All I'm saying is, when we have people in the middle getting 7 and 8%, and people getting 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22%, I'm sure there's a way we can kind of do something to help those people more. Because we're starting in a year and a half, and I'm going to hear the same thing from everyone in the public, the middle. We have a chance now. Like, we can do a little bit now, and next time we can do a little bit more. It's not gonna be solved in one time.
No, I agree.
The bottom of the guide wasn't solved in one time either. But we can do a little bit now, and we can do a little later to get it a more smooth path up to the top.
Well, will you be doing a guide? Will you be presenting us with a guide? Because here's the thing, I don't want to make massive adjustments on our guide and work against ourselves. So if you have an idea of something that might be better, we would love to look at it, compare, and try to find something in between.
Mr. Butcher, can you ask the NJEA when you send them the guide and the rates increase and so on, to focus on making the middle more equitable to the bottom and the top of the guide? I mean, they get paid to do this for you.
I understand. Don't you have people that you can pay to do this for you as well, like your
Well, they would
attorneys?
be
Or
coming out of our board funds. And
I know,
you're
but
already part of the NJEA.
And I understand that. And we sat down as a negotiations team. We weighed some different options, and we came up with a guide that we thought was fair and equitable. This is what we believed in, and that's why we presented it to you. And I'm sorry that you're upset with it. I'm sorry that you don't like it. I don't want us to start moving stuff just to please you. This isn't an assignment for us.
No, but the board does need to be pleased with it, or else the board has to vote on the guide as well.
I agree. So you can create something. If you can't create it,
Well, we can create it, but
Okay.
I would suggest that you go to NJEA and ask them to create it first. They created the first guide that was given to us. We went back and said why we didn't like the guide.
what I can do is I can ask MGA. I'll give them exactly your stipulations. Okay, but if, as a negotiations team, if we're not happy with it, we're not going to present it to you. If we don't think that it's appropriate for our association, we're not going to present it
That's
then.
fair, that's fair.
Okay.
But, I mean, do you want to focus on the middle this time, like we've been talking about for 2 years?
I would like to get something that is fair. I'd like to try to get something to those people that have been paying a ton of money on their healthcare costs. That's what I would like to see between that and helping the middle. I think if we can try to get something like that, that would be wonderful.
Okay, we're with you, we agree.
I didn't plan on speaking tonight, but I just was kind of sitting in my seat and feeling a little unsettled about what transpired before with regard to the information that wasn't shared regarding tonight's vote. And again, I want to be clear in emphasizing that I'm not disputing the decision, I'm disputing the process and whether it was done with intention to engage stakeholders. I was reading recently, I'm sure you're aware, that the NJ Department of Education recently, in December, put out a guidebook or a guide for school district leaders about stakeholder engagement. And I know that's going to be a big part of your focus with your upcoming strategic planning. And so my question is, Dorothy, do you think tonight that you were transparent with the public, first? And second, what could you do better, especially given the state has asked school boards to be a little bit more diligent in reaching out to stakeholders and keeping them apprised of what's going on?
I'm not going to answer any questions. However, what I will tell you is we followed the advice of our attorney. It was on we advertised the way we were supposed to. It was upstairs in the building. It was on our website. So all I can tell you is we followed the advice that our attorney gave us. Whatever advertising we had to do, we did.
I don't believe the addendum.
It may not have been. It was just approved, I don't even know, recently, in the last few days by the county.
Yes.
Well, I think it was approved last week when school was closed, yeah.
Okay. So we recognize that the addendum wasn't included, which is kind of the important.
It should have been here at the meeting.
It should, yes. And they are taking steps to rectify.
So I agree with that.
But my follow-up question to that is really, it's 2018, you've got a wonderful year ahead of you. What steps will you be taking in alignment with the state's guidance to be more diligent about reaching out to stakeholders and involving them in the process?
I'm not going to answer that question. You can ask. We're here for public comment.
Okay, that's not very engaging, but thank you.
Hi, Dorothy Grant in Oradell. I have a question. You spoke earlier of board goals and obviously goals for superintendent. I remember looking them up a while back at the beginning of the school year. There was one website that you did anything that I was board at that point. I don't know if you can summarize a little bit right now tonight, or if you could just maybe send me a copy or I'll go back home and I'll look on the website. But when you give your interim reports on the superintendent's progress towards goals, as well as the any board goals you may have, like you do it semi-annually, quarterly, can you tell me when the next update?
Last year, I think we did it quarterly with the Linkit, right? Yeah, it's generally based on Linkit.
So will it be posted on the website as to when the next update will be?
It'll be on the agenda. It's generally under Linkit or something like that.
Okay. My second question is, I'm in the process of preparing for tonight's meeting. I've looked at a lot of the prior minutes for different personnel changes. And I noticed a lot of changes in administrative salaries. Can you tell me what your current administrative cost limits are based on the recently authorized change in salary?
Our current what?
Administrative cost limits. It's a line in the budget that you usually submit, but obviously.
I don't know what it is.
You
You would have
business
to,
administrator would
you
know.
could send her an over tomorrow. She could give it to you.
Okay. Am I correct in assuming that it's able to be calculated at this point? I know that not only are the administrators involved in that calculation, their salaries, but their support staff. Has the salaries for the support staff been settled at this time?
Ask me the question. What are you asking?
In terms of calculating the number, are you able to give me a reasonable
Look at me.
estimate? Oh, sorry. Are you able to give a reasonable
Because I couldn't hear you.
estimate at this point
Of what?
of the administrative cost limits for the district, given the recent administrative changes, starting with the chief school administrator? As well
Are you
as
looking for their salaries?
No, I'm looking for the administrative cost limits.
I don't know
Is
what
it-
a cost limit is.
You don't know what a cost limit is?
I don't.
There is a requirement, I don't know if there's been any changes to the legislation, but this goes back to the accountability regulations that were established by the department a long time ago through the legislature. And what it says is that you have to take into account the salaries of the administration and their support staff. There's a limit.
Oh, I know what you're saying. So you mean if, based on our state aid? Like we'll lose state aid if we go over it?
You cannot authorize salaries for administration in excess of that number. And I know you're not close to the
Yeah.
limit. I just want to know that given all these changes.
I don't know what the limit is, but we're
budget-
below it, and I'm sure the VA could give that to you, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm
Yeah.
guessing it's
Yes.
significantly changed. Okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
That's all right.
Hey everyone. Castro, 521 Mildred Place, New York. I just wanted to get some clarification from listening tonight, and as all of you know, I've been following the teacher contract issue very closely. And as you mentioned, this is my first rodeo with this. And I just want to kind of get a little bit of a better understanding of how a contract comes to be. When it was signed back in November, I was celebrating, I was excited, I thought that was it. I didn't think we'd still be a discussion on it in January. Do the teachers get to vote on the salary guides at all? Does that eventually go to them?
Yes, they have to ratify the entire contract and the salary guides.
Okay, so there will be a way to see if they are all comfortable with it and everything?
They have to vote on it as a union.
Okay, great. Is there an expiration date for the memorandum of agreement?
No.
Okay. I mean, just sitting here listening to the conversations, it seems like you specifically and the board has a very good idea of what you're looking for in the salary guides. And I agree the middle does need to be focused on. But I also agree that, I know it's been said for the administrators, you want to keep the experienced folks here. And I understand that the top of the guide is suffering as well. I don't know what the guide looks like, admittedly. But it does seem like you have a pretty good idea of what you're looking for. It seems like you're asking maybe perhaps them to take a test and keep returning it saying not what we're looking for. And before we kind of start chasing, or not we, I'm not doing it, but before you guys start chasing your tails and keeping the lawyers in business, instead of continuing down the road of maybe we're one school, we all work in the same building, not we, again, you guys all work in the same building. Can we take advantage of that and you guys kind of work collaboratively to save time and money to kind of say, this is what we're thinking, this is what we're thinking, kind of an unofficial meeting? Does that?
Everyone is on the same page. We want to see more money put to the middle. When the rep asks us how much, we can't say how much because we're not working the guide. The NJA has experts that do this all the time and they're very good at it. There was one that came here, Peter, I forget what his last name was. He's excellent.
Okay.
So last time we told them we want to see the lower end up, we want to cut a few steps, so.
Okay, I realize this may be a naive question at first, but sound like an idiot. Could you sit down with the negotiating team from the board, sit down with the negotiating team for the teachers, and just kind of say, this is what we're thinking, this is what we're thinking, this is what we're going to tell the NGA, EA reps? Is that something that could possibly
It can happen, but we did it tonight. I mean, they know that we want to see more money to the middle of the guide, and
Maybe more specifics though, like an hour meeting could probably save thousands of dollars in legal fees.
what kind of specifics?
I have no idea.
The middle of the guide needs more money. We have to stop going from this, we have to go more smooth. So let's just put a little bit more money there. When we have some people making an 8% raise and we have some 20 to 22,
Well,
I think
that's
there's a
specific.
little, I said it, I think there's a little bit of,
I understand in your mind, I understand
compromise.
what that hockey stick looks like.
right.
But I don't know if that, there's a lot that can, as we've seen from this past year, there's a lot that can get lost in communication. I'm just saying, maybe if you all sit down with pen and paper and you see exactly what they're going to email to the NGA to vote.
Our attorney also spoke to their rep about the middle of the guide. So
Actually,
everyone who works it understands what it means.
I guess my point is, maybe we don't have to keep bringing the attorney into this, so you guys can just sit down with their guys, keep it unofficial, keep it relatively inexpensive. And anyway, that's all I really wanted to say on that. And I have a quick question on item D12. donation of AviQ pens. This is really great. Do you guys know if this means parents of allergy kids, do they still have to send Avi pens?
They still have to send it in. These are the ones that usually go in the main office or the nurse's office. This company usually does it for schools every year. You have to apply.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, we'll move to old and new business. Mrs. Walker?
I guess I have a question, probably it's for Mr. Mastrada again. Are we going to have that parent advisory this Friday? Is that going to take place at Cool Beans?
Mrs. Walker, ask me, what are you asking?
I saw on one of our notices that there's a parent advisory this Friday, the 5th in the morning at Cool Beans with parents. I guess it's...
That's probably Mrs. Syracuse.
Is the Special Education Parent Advisory Committee,
yes. And that's still on with this Friday at Cool Beans?
Yes, it is.
But it's part of the school?
It's organized by the Special Education Parent Advisory
I'm sorry, it's
Committee.
organized.
It's organized by the Special Education Parent Advisory Committee. There's no one from the school there. I think you might be under the impression that staff would be attending. It's just a parent cleanup.
It's just the parents, Mrs. Walker.
Okay, I thought it was school sponsored and I thought Mr. Mastrada was going to be serving coffee and other things at Cool Beans now. But no, okay, all right, thank you.
Anyone else? Mr. Griffin?
Yeah, I just wanted to follow up on what Mrs. Syracuse was saying a second ago about stakeholder engagement. And I obviously can't speak for the whole board, but I would just like to say that, one, to all the public, I appreciate all the feedback I've gotten, and I really hope that as a board we can do a good job of engaging the stakeholders, because I feel like the school will benefit. So I just wanted to go on record saying that I think we really should focus on trying to take and listen to as many voices as we possibly can.
Any other old business?
I just want to welcome our new board member, Mr. Griffin, to the board, and our returning board members, Ms. Shapiro and Ms. Walker.
And also to remind you, you have to take governance 4, and I think you have to go on a Saturday to a class. So talk to Ms. Nicole. Well, they also have a 1 day. It's okay. Oh, does anybody want to go to Texpo? Because it's January 25th and 26th. Mr. Darian used to go, so we would have to have you on the agenda by our next meeting. Generally, only Mr. Gergen. I thought it was the 24th. Texpo. Only Mr. Darian used to go. And are you traveling anywhere for delegates that we need to know of? Okay. Any Odyssey training that you're going to? Do we need to put you on an agenda? Do you know when it is?
Coach's clinic used to be in January, I'm sure it still is,
Do you know
but
when?
I don't have the date. When's our next meeting?
The 24th.
24th.
Okay, so maybe you could find out, because we need
Yes.
to put you on there.
You could put me on for travel to the Coach's Odyssey in Miami.
All
In
right,
case it's
You could maybe check
before
with
the 24th.
Michelle. And if it's before the 24th, I guess we're going to retro you.
If you put me on the agenda now, in case it's the weekend before the
It's
next
okay,
meeting.
we'll retro.
Thank you.
Anything else, Mrs. Walker?
Just one other thing, I wanted to thank Dr. Ansel for reaching out to one of our stakeholders with that letter to Mrs. Filoco concerning the tutoring and filling her in on tutoring in the school. So, and I think that's going to be an ongoing look-see into that kind of operation. So thank you for that letter.
Anyone else?